Hi, how are you doing? I am BP Tujan Moko from ELT Gallery. Welcome to the Grammar Corner of ELT Gallery. In this video, we're going to talk about sentence elements. The topics of this video is number 8, sentence definition. Then we have obligatory or core elements, circumstantial elements, and additional elements. Now, let's start with the definition of a sentence. A sentence is a group of words which has a subject and a predicate and expresses a complete unit of meaning. Now, let's see how this definition works. If we want to talk about this event, if we want to say something about this event, we need to know what the event is, of course, and also who is involved in this event. Here we can say, for example, Maureen presented her paper at 2. Maureen presented her paper at 2. This is a complete unit of meaning. If you talk to anybody who knows Maureen, I think the person will also know what you are talking about. Now, let's see another example. Here, for example, Linda mops the floor every Saturday. If we send the sentence to somebody who knows who Linda is, I think he will have no problem to understand the sentence. This is a complete unit of meaning. Another event, here we have somebody who is watching TV or is watching something on her laptop. Here we can say Nadia likes Korean movies. We do not talk, or I do not talk about an action here, but I talk about a state. Nadia likes Korean movies. And if I tell the sentence to somebody who knows Nadia, then the person will have no problem in understanding the sentence. The sentence is a complete unit of meaning. The next is Wendy is a journalist. Wendy is a journalist, a complete unit of meaning. We have the subject Wendy, and we have the predicate is, and we have the subject complements a journalist. The sentence is complete. It expresses a complete unit of meaning. If I send this sentence to somebody who knows Wendy, I think he or she will have no problem in knowing what I'm talking about and knowing that Wendy now is a journalist. So from these 4 examples, we can say that a sentence expresses an action or a process, but here we don't have an example of a process or a state. We have Maureen presented her paper at 2. This is an action, presenting action. It's about Maureen. Linda mops the floor every Saturday. This is about mopping, about the action of mopping. Nadia likes Korean movies. This is about a state of liking Korean movies. And the last we have Wendy is a journalist. So a sentence is a group of words which has a subject and a predicate and expresses a complete unit of meaning. Now let's see what are the elements of a sentence. We have the obligatory or core elements. They are obligatory because they should be present. If they're not present, probably the sentence will be incorrect or will not be understood easily. They are core elements because if they are missing, then the sentence probably cannot be understood. We have several obligatory or core elements of a sentence in English. Now let's start talking about the obligatory elements of a sentence. But before we start, I would like to remind you that this video, this talk is a kind of sketchy because I will not talk about each of the elements in details. I will talk about each of the elements in details later in different videos. So I will talk about subject in one video and predicate in another video and so on. So this is only a kind of introduction to what the sentence elements in English are. Well, the first is a subject. We have Larry is fixing the car. The subject here is Larry. He is the person who does the fixing. The students studied maths in room 304. Here the subject is the students. They are the persons who doing the action of studying. And then we have predicate. We have the sentence Brian walks to school. The predicate here is walks. We have as here because the subject is a singular third person. Brian walks. We watch TV at home. This is an event in the past. The next element, we have an object. I read the book twice. The book here is the object of the verb reading, the object of the action reading. Mom bought a necklace. A necklace is the object of bought. The action of buying is directed to the necklace, a necklace. If we only have one object, we just call it the object. But if we have two objects, then we can call it, this is the direct object, and we have probably another object which is called indirect object. That's the next element, indirect object. We have a sentence, Mom gave Lucy a necklace. A necklace is the object, this is the direct object, and Lucy is the indirect object. It's the object, or it's the person who benefits of the giving action. I told the story to Maureen. Maureen is the person to which the story is directed. So Maureen here is the indirect object. The next element is object complement. We have, I found the course challenging. Challenging here tells about the object. That's why it's called an object complement, because it tells about the object. It complements the object. I found the course challenging. Challenging is the object complement. We call her story an honest confession. An honest confession is an object complement. This is, it tells about how the story is. We call her story an honest confession. And then we have a subject complement. I feel great today. Great here is a subject complement. It tells about the subject. I feel great today. The lady in the blue house is the office manager. It complements, it gives information about the subject. The lady in blue is the office manager. The office manager is a subject complement. Then we have a predicator. A predicator in a way is similar to object complement. It has something more about the object. I asked Larry to fix the car. So here the person who is going to fix the car is Larry. I asked Larry to fix the car. To fix the car is a predicator. It's the predicate of the object. It shows what the object is doing. Larry told me to buy some spare parts. To buy some spare parts here is a predicator. It tells what I should do. Larry told me to buy some spare parts. So to buy some spare parts is a predicator. A predicator shows what the object is supposed to do because of the verb predicate. The verb predicate here is ask and told. Now let's talk about the circumstantial elements of a sentence. A circumstantial element provides some information about the action or state which the predicate verb expresses. So we have a subject, predicate, and other elements which are important to the sentence, to the meaning of a sentence. And we have some circumstantial elements which add more information. The grammatical term for the circumstantial element in a sentence is called adjunct. We have manner, like John drives carefully. It tells us more about the driving action. John drives carefully. It's manner. I met Rita in front of the library. We have place. I met Rita in front of the library. In front of the library is a place of the action. It's just the circumstantial information, the place. And then we have Inda bought the book yesterday. Yesterday here is circumstantial information. It tells about the time of the action. We have other circumstantial elements, but we'll talk about that later when we come to circumstantial elements. We have several circumstantial elements, but we'll talk about them later. And then we have additional elements. Additional elements are elements which are really not needed by the sentence. It's not about the meaning of the sentence, but it's needed for some other purposes. The first kind of additional element is a conjunct. A conjunct connects a sentence with the previous sentence. Here we have, for example, in brief, the proposal needs to be revised. So in brief here connects the sentence, the proposal needs to be revised with the talk before, with the sentences before. Furthermore, the program endangers the life of the local people. Here we have some sentences before, and this is just an additional information about the danger of the program. The program endangers the life of the local people. Furthermore, in addition, the program endangers the life of the local people. And then we also have a disjunct. A disjunct is also not needed by the sentence. A disjunct only gives comment on the content of what the speaker is talking about. Frankly speaking, I don't agree with the proposal. So here I talk about this frankly. I don't hide anything. Frankly speaking, I don't agree with the proposal. In my opinion, the proposal needs a lot of revision. The proposal needs a lot of revisions is my opinion. In my opinion, the proposal needs a lot of revision. So a disjunct gives the speaker's attitude to what he is talking about. Well, those are the discussions of sentence elements. We have the obligatory sentence elements: subject, predicate, object or direct object, indirect object, object complement, subject complement, and predicator. These are the 7 obligatory or core elements of a sentence. They are needed by the predicate. And then we also have the circumstantial information, which gives further information about the action. And then we have additional elements which only connects a sentence with the previous sentence or gives the speaker's opinion on what he is talking about. In the next video, we're going to talk about the forms and identification of the 7 kinds of elements. That's all for now. See you in the next video.